Marketing in Asia proudly presents Seasons Digital Marketing Edition. Today we are going to have a look at some great minds together, discussing on how to create viral content. We get to learn with their experiences, tips and tricks. Let's not wait anymore. Let's welcome our guest host, Miss Geeva.
Hello everyone, I am Geeva from Marketing in Asia, who is your guest host today. An Asia leaders media and marketing tech platform for brands and content creators. And today we have a very exciting people with us as our guest speakers who's going to be speaking to us about creating viral content, about their experiences, their tips and tricks. Have you ever thought, how's your contents coming through? Have you ever thought how you're going to make a difference out there? You know what? Today, digital social media is where it takes you. And we've got two grand speakers. Wow. They are making a buzz out there. And I want to call them in. I want to introduce you to them. And we have first person today who's Dr. Eric. And the other guest speaker today is Nina Golly. Hi, Dr. Eric and hi, Nina. Welcome to this show.
Hello.
Thank you. First of all, I need to change my name. Nina Golly is kind of like my pet name. So officially it's Nina Sharil Khan. Thank you.
Hi, Nina Sharif Khan. Really good to have you both in the show today. All right. I just want to know a little bit about both of you before even we start rolling out with the questions. I know you are full of information. You're going to make a difference in how all this, our contents can be viral. You know what? I'm so excited to learn from both of you. And again, once again, to all of you out there who's listening to us, they are creating contents which is creating a buzz in the social media platform. And the little that I found out about Dr. Eric Siew, he is a creative director at Choobub Creatives. He's also a lecturer and a doctor by profession. And he has got one team in his mind. Use the maximum both of your brains and you make the best out of the contents. And we have Nina Sharil Khan. Wow, she is creating another big buzz out there. She goes on to say that, you know what, go out there and create popular contents. And what happens there? You bring great returns to the organization. Now, Dr. Eric Siew, can I have you to introduce yourself a little bit, please?
Okay. This is going to get interesting. I cannot speak like Geeva like that, so I'm going to just be, okay, just chill out a bit, all right?
Just be yourself.
So guys, yeah, I'm just going to be myself. So guys, my name's Eric. Okay, as much as Geeva likes to call me doctor and all, I appreciate that. But unless you're my patient, then you call me doctor. But if you're not my patient, right, just call me Eric would do a bit. Otherwise, it's going to be very funny. But anyway, I am a doctor by profession, but I do run somewhat like a creative agency as well. And I have a team and we do a lot of things in terms of creative stuff, creative marketing, graphics, and all this. Anything that you require you to be present in the World Wide Web, that's what we do. So if you are interested in all this kind of stuff, then look for me. Always available one. Okay. I'm going to hard sell a bit, but look for me. Okay, so yeah, pretty much that's it about me. I don't know what else I can say, but if you want to know more about me, you can actually go to my LinkedIn profile and read all the ding dong stuff that I write there. So a lot of nonsense there, but if you can tolerate nonsense, that's me, then reach out to me. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Eric. That's such an insightful. You told us who you are and all that. Just for the benefit of the audience who's listening to it, he's also known as the very handsome and sexy person in the social media as well.
Yes. Self-declared, is it? Self-declared or told by people?
Very self-declared, and he also hashtag it so that everybody knows him that way. Now, Nina, could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I'm basically one of those people who teach people how to claim themselves, like Dr. Eric, online. Okay, so basically what I do is I help build Asian business influencers and thought leaders so they can grow their authority, impact, and income online. And how I do that is I teach them how to position themselves online, namely LinkedIn, and create content and have like a certain branding and leave like a legacy in the world with whatever message they have for the world. Yeah, so that's what I do. And just like Eric, I have past life kind of thing. So if Dr. Eric is a doctor, he still is a doctor. I keep saying I used to act, I used to produce film and TV shows. So now what I do is I take it online and help people biz that side. So basically build themselves up as a media company, because whatever business you're in, you're now a media company, whether you like it or not, with all this social media happening. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. Okay. So good to have both of you here. Dr. Eric Siew and Nina Sharil Khan. It's really good to have both of you here with us today. Now, I like to ask you this question. What's making the buzz out there? How are you creating your content that's creating a buzz that people are already sharing your post, and people say, you know what, it's the post from Eric Siew, it's the post from Nina Sharil Khan. How are you creating a buzz out there? Nina, I'd like to ask you this question first.
Okay, I think before we even talk about the buzz, I think first things first, a lot of people forget. They immediately jump on the bandwagon. Oh, I need to get famous. Let's create content, and then they create content, and then they tag people. I would say that's the worst thing you can do. The first thing you need to do is just pull yourself a little bit, do a bit of homework. You go slow to go fast. That's the way I believe it. You got to figure out what is your personal brand. Who are you in the world? What is, in the words of Steve Jobs, what is that dent that you want to create in the world? Or with us, what is that legacy you want to leave? So you got to have a clear identity, clear understanding of your own persona. And then who is it that you want to impact? If you're targeting everybody, you're targeting nobody. So you got to figure out why are you there on social media? What impact do you want to create? Who do you want to create it to? And then you start figuring out the content. And sometimes it's not really about being viral, because sometimes none of us want it. So it goes back to our intention. If you're there because you want to create viral worthy content, because you want to be like Alif Shukri or Nur Sajat, then yes. But if you're here for business, you have a different intention, you got to look into that. So to answer your question, what was the question again? To create,
how are you creating that buzz out there?
Well, for me, why I do it, and I think it might be the truth for Dr. Eric as well, is to get awareness on me and what it is that I do, so that we can grow our sales for the company. But also at the same time, our goal is to create Asian business influencers who are creating content to be people like Dr. Eric. Dr. Eric is an amazing example. People who are creating local Asian content, and they're proud of their heritage. They're building a better world out there and to impact the world in a positive way. So that is our goal. And from there, I look for content that resonates with my brand and the message that I want to give, and I create that. And of course, you can see what's trending would help. You can jump on it, but then you give it your own spin and how you feel about it. Okay, so those are some of the reasons. But before you even create content, there's a lot of variables. So we need to understand the psychology, because there's different reasons why people create content. The biggest reason is to bring value and entertaining content of value to others, to define themselves to other people. So what kind of content are you sharing? The people who's sharing that content are also like you, because when you share a content, it defines you, who you are. So funny people who love humor will share funny stuff. People who are victimy will share victimy stuff. So it all goes back to your brand. What is it that you want to create? What impact? How do you want people to remember you, as a victimy person or as an awesome person? That sort of thing. So it all goes back to what kind of brand you want to create. Okay. And to also grow relationships. Yes.
Okay. So that means you're trying to say, Nina, the kind of content you create actually tells who you are,
yes.
And what are the message you want to send out there.
Yeah. And
Eric,
Go on. Yes, definitely.
Go on, Nina.
I think a lot of people, the biggest mistake they make is that they go online and then they think they're very smart. They talk about sensational topic, but they don't understand that when they do that, it's a direct reflection on them. And sometimes they're even airing their dirty linen without even realizing it. If you want to air your dirty linen, it's fine, but it depends on what do you want to get out of it. Is it you want to be sensational? Because one of the fastest way to get sensational is having sensational content, it spreads 10 times faster. But the other thing is, if you cannot handle that, then, what do you do? That sort of thing. So yeah. So you might want to think twice, 10 times before you post something, because it's a direct reflection of you. You might think you're smart, but it doesn't happen that way. Other people might think otherwise of you. So
the key message is here, think twice what you want to post, go back and how you want to reflect yourself and also your self-identity.
Yeah. Now, strategize. It's all about strategy. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Right, Dr. Eric Siew, I hear from what Nina says about you. She said that, you know, you have a way how you write and you actually have a purposeful content that you put on. Now, could you share with us, how are you coming out with that content of yours?
Now, maybe we rewind a little bit back in terms of how I started this journey on writing, and I don't, despite me hashtagging that I'm famous and all those kinds of stuff, I'm not lah. So, but then again, right, we just got to claim it is, right? Sometimes you just have to be a bit prasan lah in that case. But anyhow, the goal that I started this 2 years back when I was on LinkedIn, I had one specific goal in mind because I wanted to get business leads. And in order for me to get business leads, people kind of need to know me first, right? Before they can actually approach me, right? So the goal is very simple, just to allow people to know who I am as a person. Okay, so I told myself that I can't be anybody else, but I can be myself. So what can I do is that I be the Malaysian Apek lah, okay? The Malaysian Apek who speaks Malaysian, because the reason is I'm reaching out to Malaysians and nobody else at that current point of time. So I wrote in a very local style where nobody was writing at that point of time. Nobody, because on LinkedIn is a professional platform, right? Nobody dares to put a la, lo, la, mixture of Malay words here and there. La. It becomes very rojaki that others may find it like a nuisance to read, but to Malaysians, it feels like home. And when they read it, it really resonates with many Malaysians. That's why my network consists of many Malaysians then. But how did I get to the point where everybody starts responding to my posts? That's because the work is done back end. So I actually wrote this post. I managed to actually get people to actually respond to the post, but I actually chat with the people whom I connect with behind the scenes. So eventually over the years, everybody started to know who I am. They started responding to my posts, and that's how I got to the point where I am today. There's no instant viral post or as if like my post is some sensational post. Everybody writes this pretty much, can write the same thing. But what difference is you just need to do the back end work that we need to actually reach out to people and get to know people better. Because ultimately, if you build connections, people will respond if you're genuine about it and don't sell anything in the process. So yeah.
So what I hear from both of you is personal identity is important, personal branding is important, targeting your right audience is important, and even from what we hear from Dr. Eric Siew, even if it means different from the others, but if you've got the right audience, you are already nailing it, right? That's brilliant. But let me jump straight away. Oh no, Nina, you wanted to share something.
Yeah, because a lot of people think that viral content is the holy grail of everything. It's not, because we have a lot of students, so we have data. So our students, the one who's gone viral, yes, we have students who go viral, 200K views, 50K views, but the ones that, at the end of the day, it's about leads, right? To generate those leads. From the viral views, you don't get a lot of leads. You get awareness that people see you, great. But the ones who actually translate to leads are the low views one. So we got to rethink, why do we really want this virality kind of thing? For Dr. Eric, it's about him getting, people getting to know him. And from there, we can start having this relationship and honest. And it really goes back to your business. If your business is very niche, it doesn't make sense to have that virality. You might have a small views, but if your sales are coming in, good job, so we really need to recalibrate or rethink the way we look at views and stuff like that.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that was actually going to be my next question. Actually, how are you converting? Nina jumped to it.
I was psychic, so I answered it.
Okay, because you see, the thing is, like you see, Dr. Eric, you actually started off writing for the local market. All right, but I understand today your business has gone international. So, I mean, your content is speaking. Everybody is finding value what although it's a local style. I think you have businesses outside of Malaysia today. And how did you fish for that, Dr. Eric? How did you fish for that?
Funny thing is, right, I was fishing for Malaysians abroad as well, because the ones that reach out to me are Malaysians staying in. Either they have converted to become Australians, but in heart they remain Malaysian, or they are Singaporeans, they remain Malaysian, but they do reach out to me because they understand what I say, you see. So, and in that, right, they become kind of like my spokesperson for whichever country that they are in, and they say good things about, I know Eric, probably you want to reach out to him. So most of my leads, right, is through this valuable connection that I have on LinkedIn, that they actually use the word of mouth to spread the good news, and eventually I get connected to the other side of the world. Not so far away, just neighboring countries, maybe Singapore and Australia. And for now, that's how I actually managed to get my leads now. So viral posts actually didn't give me leads. Like Nina said, nothing at all. But it's the constant low view counts, but the same person who respond to your post again, in and day out, right? They are the ones who eventually gave me the business to work with. So that's why I don't really look at all these numbers.
So at the end of the day, you want to get that sales is about you showing up, you being there every single day, low views, high views, and you being consistent. Because why do people go to personal profile in our company? Because it shows the human behind that brand. And at the end of the day, we can't really trust brands because, it's just a logo, but we want to understand the human that's running behind the brand. And if we can get to know them, we understand their values, we know that we can work with them. So we as humans, we're seeking for those values, and those same values is what, connects us. So at the end of the day, it's relationship building or relationship marketing, as you call it.
Nina, you mentioned something about being consistent. What do you mean by that?
Okay, when we talk about being, in fact, you know what, being a content creator, being a business influencer, one of the key things is not about being the best content creator. The best content creator, sorry, my English suddenly not good. The best content creator, they create the best content, but it comes out once in a while because, they're perfectionists. So the video has to be a certain way. So it's about the ones who do really well, I'm going to be honest with you, are the ones who create average content, but they are consistent. Day in and day out, they show up at the same time every day, and they respond to people, because at the end of the day, in a world where we're all connected, we're disconnected because of digital, we're starving for that human connection. And by showing up every day, creating content every day, by having those values that you demonstrate, it's always consistent, on point, you develop a reputation and a brand for yourself online. So it's about being consistent. Yeah, consistent in your identity, consistent in creating content and your message.
Right. Nina, in your point of view, what is consistent? 3 times a week, 5 times a week, 7 days a week? What is consistent means to you?
Okay, it depends on your goal. For a start, we know of people who can create content with LinkedIn. It's very forgiving. 3 times a week is good enough. That is if you already have your following. But to begin with, once a day, weekdays, and then you chillax in the weekend is good enough. But there are people who are creating like 3 content, 10 content a day. Sometimes that doesn't help because the algorithm doesn't support you, especially if it's too close to another, because, LinkedIn is trying to push up that one content. But for us, doing it once a day for weekdays is good enough. But we do have different people who's gone to a different stage and they're trying to target different markets, like Australia, America. So they do it depending on that time. I know of one LinkedIn influencer who's got 1 million followers who posts about 4 times a day because they're targeting the Southeast Asia market in the morning, which is our time. And then they do it in the afternoon to target the British market, I think, or Middle East. And then they do in the evening, and then they do it at night for the US market. So it really depends on your goal. But for us, once a day is good enough to begin with. Dr. Eric might have a,
Yeah, I'm going to ask Dr. Eric on this question.
Okay.
But Dr. Eric, I just want to give you a credit on this. You have been 5 days without fail. And I think it's of recent you decided to change, you decided to reduce your number of days. Maybe you can share with us, your experience of writing 5 days and then moving on to 3 times a week. Am I right now, Dr. Eric?
Yeah, correct.
Wow, so I'm correct.
I started writing twice a week. The first time when I started on LinkedIn, and it was getting enough good traction already, but I gave myself a goal in terms of how much content I could generate for the following year. So I dedicated myself to writing content, or at least generating content once a day for the next 1 year, and see how does it feel like and how does it actually work with one content a day. I almost died, okay? And I think that it was really exhausting to the point that I'm feeling a little bit burnt out, okay? Partly because that the algorithm keeps changing, and there's no point in actually fighting the algorithm because you can't win it. But I believe there is one thing which is very important in terms of generating content, is that to maintain that cadence. Cadence means that you're always present. It doesn't have to be a viral post. It doesn't have to be like massive views, but you're just there. And the people who respond to you every day is like an advert like that, right? Last time when we, Pizza Hut, Coca-Cola, radio stations, they keep playing the same song again and again. You realize, that they are there, but they are just there to remind you that, hello, I'm there, but you don't really have to actually sell something. So technically, that's what I'm doing back to the original state, whereby I still be present, but I don't sell anything. To be honest, until today, I hardly sold anything. I'm just writing stories and talking bullshit on LinkedIn, but pretty much that's it. Being myself there, being out there. And of course, each time I write a post, I make a point that I actually sit down and respond to all the comments. And that itself is already very tiring. To a certain extent, sometimes I sit down the whole day just to respond to posts. So that is, to be honest, that's the best people, but just need to talk to people, because in these days, right, if people want instant reaction and people drop you a comment, you don't respond to them, the other side will feel hurt lah. I talk to him, don't want to talk to me, that kind of thing. So generally, people would crave for that kind of attention. It's best that you be present, at least for that period of time. Or even if you don't respond to the comment immediately, at least after a day or two, still respond and say hi. Don't just leave the comment hanging as if they are talking to the wall. So that's important in terms of, it's not just about generating content, but actually respond to the people who actually look into your content and took their time to actually write you a comment, because writing a comment is actually quite brain juice consuming, and people actually have to think of it to write for you. So to appreciate the effort, we should actually sit down and respond back, at least courtesy wise.
Okay, so can I say that, you do not have to write a content that go viral, but what you're doing, commenting on the post, and going back and engaging itself is already building traffic. All right, it's already building traffic for yourself. It's already building traffic for the other person. And what you write, the contents and consistency is the one that makes a difference. Now, both of you are an entrepreneur on your own, right? Nina with her PopCon, and then Dr. Eric Siew with Choobub. And how are you all creating the brand awareness of your business? When, especially Dr. Eric, you write a lot of stuff about your values, your things, experience, whereas build networking marketing concept, and at the same time, and I see Nina also, while you write something about your thing to business of yours. So perhaps Nina, you want to go ahead on this?
I think for me, and what we teach our students is, it all goes back to the branding. What is the legacy that we want to create? So then we come up with our own content pillars, which are themes that we talk about. So for me, my theme is about, I'm big on making an impact. I want people to be happy, they don't have to be depressed. So for me, there's a lot of mindset stuff and stuff like that. So when I share my personal stories, is to shift people's belief so that they are happier, because a lot of the reasons why we are unhappy, whether it's in relationships, finance and stuff like that, is because of the beliefs that we have. So if we can change the way we see things, then the world will be such a wonderful, kinder, amazing, generous, abundant place. That's what I believe. So I share content on that, because whatever I believe, I impact people, and whenever somebody's in my space, I hope my goal is that they get value out of it. So that is my brand. So I share that. And I'm also big on networking and connecting with people. And of course, the other content I talk about is anything to do with marketing that can help people get more awareness on themselves. I give them tips, and I share whatever classes that we have, because it's about giving back to society for us. So those are the main themes of my content, because that's who I am and that's my brand. So that's what we talk about. And of course, the personal comes comes in really important because like Dr. Eric, they need to know me. They need to understand why I started PopCon and then they can get behind it, So it's about, because, you cannot separate that the person from the company. And we're all, there's this huge intricacies and connections with everybody. And that's how, that's how I would like people to remember me. So those are the kind of things that I share. Yeah.
So that means you're saying, Nina, sell yourself first, not the brand first.
Yeah, and you never sell the products. You sell yourself, your belief. What is it, and you give value to people. That's the way I see it. So whatever it is that I do, it's about giving value to people. How can I help this person who's coming to my profile today? Yeah, because that is the legacy that I want people to remember.
Okay, all right.
But that's my brand.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Dr. Eric, how are you marketing Choobub out there?
I mean, if you look at how we did it, we actually never use our company name. We never but somehow the name Choobubian came about after a while. People started calling us Choobubian for apparent. I said, Choobubian? I mean, it sounds cute, but so I kind of, went along with it, but somehow I figured, how come if we did not actually advertise our name or company name, but people still refer to us as the Choobubians, which I find it very fascinating because at the beginning of the stage, right, we actually, among the team, the core team members, we decided to, let's not use the company name, let's just be ourselves out there, okay? And we thought, okay, let's see how this goes, and we just be present. So if you notice, the ones who are with us on LinkedIn, we all write a story about ourselves, but people get to know us once they start visiting our LinkedIn profile. They check out what we do, they check out the stuff that we do, and ultimately that actually connects the dots to them, and they realize that, they are part of a company called Choobub Creatives, and people are starting to tag the company name as well inside their posts, which is like, that it makes such an impact that they actually tag the name, apart from not me, but tag the company's name. So that I find it rather fascinating because people actually recognize the company name rather than us itself. But, ultimately, I feel that it's the people that, people want to know first. Then after knowing the people will remember, they are from this company, they are from that company. And that itself makes the difference, I feel. So you don't really have to blow the horn or toot yourselves in front of, keep pushing, People people are smart people, they'll figure out, they'll go visit and everything. Everybody also got a little bit of keponess, right? Be kepochi and want to go and feel, hey, from where?
Go Google here, go Google
there.
Go
Google here, Google there. People will find out one. Correct.
People are stalkers in this day and age, right? We're the biggest stalkers.
Yeah. Nina always stalked me.
Let's put it this way, we are together in this, okay? We are all a big bunch of stalkers. But I guess that's what
you know what? We
creates the
embrace
buzz, isn't it?
Yeah. Openly tell people we are stalkers. We stalk people.
You go and stalk like this, like that, and they all laugh. They think it's hilarious, but we're like, really? It's normal.
No, but I guess there's a lot of people already stalking you both for all the differences that you're making out there. People like your content, people like what kind of
I forgot to share. There is one distinctive. Sorry, see my England all wrong because Dr. Eric's here. I nervous already. There is one distinct thing that we do at PopCon. Dr. Eric is laughing. We're a bit of, I don't know what the word, we just got prasan, is it? Because we need to teach our students to prasan. So we're a bit like, look at us, but we don't really mean it. Yeah. So we have attitude. Even our AI has attitude. The company has attitude because we love that culture where, we're sassy and stuff like that. So it is, which gives us our identity lah, that sort of thing. And Dr. Eric is because you have a community. That's why. Awesome. That's the holy grail of everything. That's Choobubian.
Okay, so Nina, in the PopCon, you all have this prasan thing lah. So that's what happens, is it? You all teach everybody to be prasan. So in Dr. Eric's gang, I think because of the show they make every Monday, all right? Monday, every day they make the show. Everybody said, okay, let me jam. Every Monday, 8 p.m., let me jam on the show, TKSS show. Am I right, Dr. Eric?
Okay,
correct. All right.
Yeah.
What does TK stand for, Dr. Eric?
Oops, can it be revealed here?
Beep, is it?
To be honest, we wanted something to, very Malaysian, and we wanted it to every Malaysian know what it is. So that's why we went with talk cock and sing song. So TKSS means talk cock, sing song, but it can mean a lot of things because on LinkedIn we need to be professional.
Halal.
So halal ma. So tak boleh cannot babi here, babi there, right? So
Okay.
it's like, so it can also mean teh, kopi, you know, a lot of synonyms, like BFM, they have a lot of synonyms for their channels, right?
Absolutely,
Same thing we
yes.
use, we use the same synonyms, but ultimately the idea is everybody knows it's talk out and sing song. Subtly, everybody just got the idea that it's talk out and sing song. So we didn't actually announce it, we didn't actually write it out, but everybody knows. So that's how the TKSS came about. And until today, everybody's like, hey, today no TKSS. Oh, it became a brand itself. No TKSS. Okay, it worked.
Right. So we're already moving into branding. You know, it's just because like it's exactly what you want to reach out there became a brand. TKSS and of course PopCon as well, the popular content. Now, you see, both of you are creating contents, which I said earlier, is creating a buzz. When you put out there, everybody stops and say, you know what, Nina has posted, let me spend some time reading. Dr. Eric has posted, let me read. Okay, you both have created the buzz. But I want to ask you the thought behind it. Like Nina, you know, the thing is, whenever you write something, you always have catchy headlines, you know, that go like, oh, I better stop and read. So how do you come up with those kind of ideas, Nina?
With hard work, like exactly what Dr. Eric said. It was like, you know, you can go what's that word, overwhelmed kind of thing. But again, I think for us, we simplify it, go back to our content pillar. What is it that we want to talk about? And we plan in advance. When you plan, because I came from the media, right? When you want to shoot, like, okay, example, Game of Thrones, right? Suddenly got in Romania, like in Malaysia, like in Asia, in the desert. You don't shoot one place, you know, you die, right? What you want to do is you want to plan in advance and handle one location all at the same time. You know, so what we do is we teach our students to kind of plan it and to structure it so that it becomes easy. It's like going to the gym. The first time you go, you know, your brains and your muscles are all like overwhelmed, figuring out the different exercises, you know, kind of thing. But after a while, it becomes second nature. So it is about practicing and getting better and having the right strategy and techniques and know-how. So that's basically what I would say. So for me, what works is I plan in advance. I have my topics and then I Google stuff and I go to Twitter to research. I do a lot of research to give me ideas and then I talk about it, but I give my own personal thoughts and take from my point of view. And I don't necessarily agree with everything. It's important to have your own point of view, whether it's right or wrong, doesn't matter, as long as you have a point of view. Kind of thing. That's the way I see
but
it.
is it okay, like, you know, if like say that, you know, if there's no catchy title at all, is that even okay?
It's better if you have something, you know, that, because here's the thing, the data is the average human being, when they're scrolling through, you know, all these posts in social media, they go through so many posts that is as high as the Statue of Liberty. So you only have a split of a second to capture their attention. So if your title is something sexy, they're like, oh, well, what's that about? Okay. Today, you know, the first time I was in the shower and I cried in the shower, you know, and I mean, example lah, you know, it's been 4 months since my grandmother passed away, and people be like, "Ooh, okay," then they click into it. So that sort of thing. But I guess it's like clickbait, but you want to deliver the promise of the title. You don't want to lie, because again, it goes back to your branding. You because there are some people who put sensational titles, and then after a while, you tend to know, this one sensationalize the title. Already after a while, you like don't like to read the content. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it does help. And then so at the end of the day, people will read your content and they know the kind of content that you create. So it's like a producer, a film director, like, you know, Steven Spielberg, when he puts his name to it as a producer, as a director, you know the movie is going to be awesome. So that's what you do. It's about, again, consistency in the kind of content you create. Like for me, I'm just out there and I don't think normally. So I think that's why people come.
Okay, Nina, but how long should a catchy headline should be? Should it be like 5 words? Should it be like just 3 words? What would be a catchy headline?
I think I don't limit myself, because when I limit myself, my brain jams itself. So whatever works for you. Some people can write haiku, 7 words, and it's catchy. So I'm like, whoa, respect. I'm not one of those people, so I just write however long, but it has to be at least 2 lines, because if it's more than 2 lines, it's no longer catchy, and people have to click to read. So as long as it's within that 2 lines, you're good. That's the way I would say. Dr. Eric may have a different idea.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Nina. Dr. Eric, do you have a different thought on this?
There was one comment, a few comments made that, Eric write what also people will respond what. They made this kind of comment. In a way, it's true that whatever I write, people will respond. But that also itself comes from the very beginning when I started out, where nobody reads what I write. Because at the end of the day, right, people look at my profile and look at my name, right? They know that, all this while I've been actually providing value. I've been actually sharing a lot of things, and I like to teach. So I teach a lot of things. Nina said, don't teach so much, otherwise other business will chop up and go bankrupt. So it's like, I'm still withholding not to teach so much, but I still do enjoy sharing values, for free, give it out. So as time goes by, right, people know that regardless of what, there is actually a take-home message in my things that I write. There is actually value that they actually spend reading. They will get something out of it rather than just baca kosong, that kind of thing, just read and don't know where they are heading, right? So I have built this over the past 1 or 2 years, and now, but of course I don't want to take for granted. I will still actually refine my headlines. Okay, I'm not, my headlines has always been the same. It's always very short and catchy only, and you can call it a clickbait, but generally I answer the questions that I actually post out earlier, so that people read and they know that they get a conclusion out of it. Not just clicking and baiting, and at the end they're like, then what next? So it's not always like that. So it's always something that I put out, and I will answer it myself and my thoughts and why it should be that way. So that's how I get my content out. And I've been writing until today. My pattern has almost stayed the same. Very short headlines, but it tends to work for me better rather than I write long sentences. So
because he's developed a reputation that his content are share worthy and read worthy, that sort of thing. Yeah. Right. But for me, I play a different game, because for me, I write down stuff, and then if I can come up with a catchy title, I get cheap thrill. So it excites me, to come up with this catchy title. And even me with Amin, you should look at us when we plan our webinars and our content for a training title, and we're like, oh my god, this is such a good title. Oh, we should take it. We actually look like little kids in a candy store. So we just go mental ape shit over awesome titles. So it's our treat. We love doing that.
Okay, I can imagine you and Amin doing that, Nina. Okay, the little kids thing. All right, Dr. Eric, you said something about that you provide value, and that's pretty much how you write. So when you talk about values, is your content very emotional related, or are they very entertainment basis? What kind of value actually are you giving?
It's more edutainment in that sense. I provide some form of entertainment because most of my content has a bit of humor in it. And the humor itself is very localized humor, because if Angmo or any other countries that they read my content, they probably wouldn't get what I'm saying. But it's so localized that only people within a subsection would actually understand what I write. But at the end of the day, they will get a laughter out of it, and they will actually get some value out of it. But what kind of content I put out there is very random. It's not always on the same subject that I write about. It could be a lot of other things. Like sometimes moral behind the stories that I share, or sometimes LinkedIn tips that I write, or sometimes graphic design. So it's very, very random stuff, because I want to actually catch a bigger audience, because the bigger the audience are, it's better. And people who read your content, ultimately, those who actually appreciate what you share, they will continue to respond to your post. And eventually, then from the back end, I poke, hello, thank you for liking my content. Then that's how we actually generate a relationship. Then after that, I really like what you write. Can come out and yum cha and have copy. Can. That's how I get my leads. That's how I generally do it.
So you're actually casting a bigger net by writing different kind of contents
Yeah,
for
yeah,
different kind of audience.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So now, like you have actually been doing, like Nina and yourself have been creating a buzz. A lot of people have been following. They have found value with your post. But how are you tracking your progress that you are doing? You're being successful. I know business is one, but from the post that you put, how are you tracking your success? Now, Nina, perhaps you want to go ahead with this first one. You're
for
muted.
us, we're quite methodological. Is it right, Dr. Eric? With it, so we actually have weekly meetings where we have funnels, right? Where we've got trainings every week. So then we always have conversations and we talk about where this lead comes in from and because at the end of the day, it's all about which one goes into our sales call or strategy call. Then it becomes like a hot lead, and then we try and track where it comes from. And a lot of the time where people start connecting with me, people start engaging with my content, I can see their names, and then I'll just, like I'll do what Dr. Eric does. I'll PM them, or I'll site message them, say, hey, I noticed that your LinkedIn profile is pretty new. We build business influencers. I've got some free trainings. I've got resources coming up. So would you like to join? Yeah. So then they just stay there. And then one day they just immediately, okay, I want to hear more about this. Let me know. So that sort of thing. So that's how we track. And then we're able to see whether it comes from the Facebook ads, whether it comes from the webinar, whether it comes from our posts. We can actually see the journey. So we actually track, because we don't have data, then you don't have that evidence. So for us, we know our stuff works because we've got all the data and we track it.
All right, so
manually at first.
Oh, but are you using any of these platforms to track as well? Do they give you the kind of results that you need to see? I mean, like statistics or anything? Like you said, you use Facebook just now.
Well, from Facebook we use, but we manually, like, we have a certain number of sales calls, and then we'll see where it comes from. And then we track it that way, because we have a lot of different platforms that we use, and then we can see. So a lot of our stuff, I can tell you, definitely comes from LinkedIn.
Content actually can make a difference. Now, Dr. Eric, if you have got one message for all of us today, what would that be in terms of creative contents?
One. Just be yourself.
You need two if you like to, right? There's no limitation.
I think important is that I think people find it hard to be themselves, and that they are inadequate. But truth is, everybody has their own subset skills and they are actually quite capable, but everybody feels that they're not good enough. But ultimately, right, we can never be good enough, because it's good because somebody else is better than us, so that we can learn from them. But don't be ashamed to be ourselves when we actually put out content out there. And I feel that personal experience and our past stories actually will help another person in future. The younger ones, or somebody who is also, so happen we cross paths and they read our stories, we may not know who would actually read our stories and whatever they write out. But if we are genuine in ourselves, then people will actually resonate with what we write, and people who actually knows our struggles will ultimately also be part of this journey that we are walking together. So I think ultimately the take-home message is just be ourselves, and don't try to be somebody else. Don't try to be, emulate somebody else. It's good that you look up to them, but you get some of their characteristics, but still you need to be yourself, so that people know that you are actually genuine and true to yourself.
I think that's a very noble statement of you, Dr. Eric, being yourself and being authenticity. That's the most key word, right? Do not try to be anybody else, just be yourself. That itself speaks loud of your brand, right? I think that creates the message of who you are and what you write as well. Right, Nina, over to you. If you've got one or two takeaways about what you can share with us.
Okay, definitely. Two takeaways. I absolutely agree with Dr. Eric. So for us, first things first is number one, just langgar. Sometimes we think too much. Oh my God, what are people going to think if I post about this or this thing? Other people know, I might sound stupid. You know what? Just langgar. Put yourself out there. version 1 is better than version 0. Version 100 is better than version 50. So version 1 is better than version none. So that's what we say. And it's a journey, it's a progress. So don't expect to have everything perfect. You are only human and you're learning as you go. So sometimes we're trying to make everything perfect, and then the average person who's creating content is already ahead because they're practicing and putting everything, but we're still trying to perfect it. So just langgar, you're going to be okay. Number 2 is it pays to prasan. I'm going to say that. And while you're prasaning, make sure you are yourself. Why? Because if you don't speak up about yourself, if you don't speak kindly about yourself and your services, people are not going to know about you. People are not going to know about the service that you can provide for them that can help save their pain and their challenges and their problems. And therefore, they're going to continue living in pain, or they're going to go to somebody else who's not going to do a better job than you. So if you are doing such a great job in your life and in your business, please speak up about it, because people need to know about it, because they have pain and challenges which you can help solve. Okay. And embrace yourself. You can't be Dr. Eric, you can't be me, but you can be you. You know, whoever you are and whatever quirky things that you are perfect as you are. So be beautiful. That's what I would say. Yeah, and I hope that helps. Yeah.
All right. That's very nice of you, Nina. That means the key message here from you is just be yourself. Write your own story, because your life is full of story. Just allow everybody to hear it in the most comfortable way, and do not wait for perfection, right? Do not wait for perfection.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what? Being a thought leader, a lot of people think, you know, you're being an imposter, but guess what? Your life experience, nobody else can argue with you about. You are the expert of your life. So you are a thought leader. Okay. Wherever you are, whatever stage in life.
Nobody can curi your cerita. It's your cerita.
Exactly.
Kisah benar. All right. Thank you, Nina and Dr. Eric, for being here, for being able to discuss with us in this show called Marketing in Asia. All right. And thank you so much. All right. We really appreciate all of you coming forward to share your experiences. And I think you brought value to all of us. You know, this information that you shared is a lot of money. We don't get it for free. And here you're sharing it with us. You are creating buzz, and you're creating more people to write more content. You have just created confidence in more people. All right. Thank you. And a very lovely to have you all with us. Bye-bye.